meaningful speech from the Prime Minister, or maybe David Davis, in the next couple of weeks, where they do go a bit further than they have done before. Because we know the Florence speech was the first time that they accepted, well, they would pay some money. Everyone assumed it was around 20 billion. It caused one or two of your colleagues to sort of be a little bit anxious. But in the end, if it's paid over 4 or 5 years, it's worth the money, isn't it? And so if we can do that to put them in a difficult corner, we call their bluff essentially. And if they say, well, that's not enough, we're not going, it's not sufficient progress, whatever that phrase actually means, and therefore we're not going to go into trade talks in January, well, at least we know they have no intention of coming to a deal at all.
I think we have to be clear, but we mustn't keep on putting up the ante. To have doubled it from 20 billion to 40 billion in a couple of months really gives them the impetus in negotiations. It makes us look as if we're constantly willing to meet their terms. We need to be getting something back from them. I think it's always a mistake to accept that the EU could set out the schedule on which different aspects would be negotiated. If you look at Article 50, it doesn't say in that at all that things will be negotiated in sequence. It gives the impression they will be negotiated together, and I think that was an initial mistake. I do see your point that if they didn't
seriously, bro, seriously,
be very clear that we weren't going any further.
Man.
The problem is we slightly keep on saying this is it, we're not going any further, and if we then keep on going further, they will think, well, if we hang on another 6 months, we'll get 80 billion, another 6 months, we'll get 160 billion.
Don't give a shit.
And so
Sit there, mate.
we do need some movement from them, and we must make it clear, we must underline in Reading that if we leave without a deal, they get absolutely zero, because that hugely puts pressure on them. It puts pressure on the Germans, and bear in mind, we talk about our government being weak. Germany doesn't have a government, still haven't agreed the coalition. But Mrs. Merkel, who was thought to be so strong, is not so strong anymore and has the hard far right in her parliament. So things have changed a bit.
What do you make of the suggestion from Brussels that the EU is braced for the collapse of Theresa May's government? Isn't that
Fuck up my lane, cunt.
in British politics?
Well, I think it shows a degree of arrogance to think that they know what's going on here. And would you rather be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom at the moment or of Spain? Holland's only just got a government. Who is the Prime Minister of Italy? Berlusconi is coming back into the frame, which they must all be thrilled about. I think people in glass houses really shouldn't throw stones, and that is what they're doing. The weakness of the member states' governments, other than France, it is really quite striking.
Now, how damaging have these two cabinet resignations or sackings, depending on your point of view, been for the government, and by extension for the Brexit negotiations?
I think you need to contextualise them, that these sorts of resignations happen to all types of government. I think of Peter Mandelson in and out of Tony Blair's cabinet. I think of Cecil Parkinson leaving Margaret Thatcher's cabinet. That things blow up, and however strong the position of the leader, resignations then take place. It's not that unusual. And the events that have led to both these resignations were not directly under the control of the Prime Minister. And so I don't think it tells you as much as it appears to. I think the key thing to bear in mind, which you know as well as I do, that no Tory MP wants to bring down the government and have a general election. And that is the key to the strength of Mrs May's position, as it was to the strength of Harold Wilson and Jim Callaghan in to keep a government.
But it's also a weakness, isn't it? Because we all know that if there were an election in the next few months, that Jeremy Corbyn would probably win it.
If you believe the opinion polls, they're not that bad for us. We're still around 40%, which over recent elections is a pretty good level. And do you think people would really put an X for Jeremy Corbyn when they thought he could win?
Well, many people did put an X for him last time, not enough to win. But just finally, Penny Mordaunt has been appointed to succeed Priti Patel at the Department for International Development, one Brexiteer being replaced by another. Tell us something we never knew about Penny Mordaunt.
She was on the European Scrutiny Committee, and she's a very valuable member of it.
I was looking for something a bit more entertaining than that, Jacob.
Well, I'm not the right man for gossip. Nobody ever tells me any gossip. I have lunch periodically with lobby correspondents, and it's very bad value for them because they always tell me things, and I never know anything to pass back. But she's a great appointment. I'm very pro-Penny. I didn't actually think it was essential to have a one-in, one-out policy for Brexiteers. I think we need to look at a more united party and look at people who've accepted Brexit rather than going back to that position in June 2016. But she's a really good appointment, intelligent, capable person, and I'm glad she's now in the Cabinet.
Jacob, thank you very much. That's Jacob Rees-Mogg, Conservative MP for North East Somerset. We'll come back to your calls in a moment. 0345 6060 973 is the number to call. It's 4:33 here on LBC. Maura Alderson has some news headlines.
Penny Mordaunt has been confirmed as the new International Development Secretary. The Portsmouth North MP replaces Priti Patel, who announced her resignation last night. The Welsh First Minister is expected to make a statement this afternoon following the death of Carl Sargent. The cabinet member had been sacked from his role and suspended from the Labour Party before being found dead at his home earlier this week. The actor Kevin Spacey is being completely erased from a film and replaced by another actor following a series of sexual harassment allegations being made against him. All the Money in the World is due to be released in December. LBC weather, a mostly dry night ahead, but cloud and rain will spread into western, central and southeastern areas overnight. An overnight low of 7 degrees.
LBC travel in Enfield on the A10. The right turn leading onto Southbury Road is blocked by an accident involving a car and a lorry. There are delays building up and the police are at the scene. In central London, Lambeth Bridge is closed heading onto the south side of the river, while a broken down lorry is recovered from the Lambeth Bridge roundabout. Police are at the scene directing traffic and there are delays on all approaches. In Soho, Shaftesbury Avenue, it has a lane closed northbound at Dean Street because of an accident. There are some delays on the approach there. And in Brixton, Acre Lane is partially blocked westbound between Effra Road and Buckner Road because a water main has burst. LBC Travel, I'm Ross Powell.
This is LBC. Hi, I'm an African elephant and I'm getting on a bit, but hey, I've been grey and wrinkly my whole life. I think I look rather distinguished. My eyesight changing, now that's the tough part, especially when you keep confusing a hippo for your wife. I've tried glasses, but they slip down my trunk. I just want them to stay put and for my wife to take me back.
Time to try varifocal contact lenses. Pop into Specsavers for a free trial. Current prescription required, subject to suitability and availability. See in-store for conditions.
As a business owner, you can't waste money on anything, particularly hiring. That's why we built Indeed.com differently. No upfront fees, no long-term contracts, so you can start, pause and stop at any time. Post your next job on Indeed, the UK's #1 job site. For a limited time, we're giving new users a £50 credit to post a sponsored job. Claim your £50 credit at Indeed.com/redeem. That's Indeed.com/redeem. Terms, conditions and quality standards apply. The UK's #1 job site, including the top school.
Seriously, you are such a fucking prick. Fucking cunt.
Solid hard. Yes, but don't forget it's also up to 50% off. Oak Furnitureland Super Sale must end Sunday. You'll find quality 100% solid hardwood with up to 50% off. Our Super Sale must end Sunday. Order today for guaranteed Christmas delivery. Visit oakfurnitureland.co.uk to find your nearest store.
Divorce can be expensive. It affects your finances, assets, home, savings, pension, and most of all, your relationship with your children. It's probably one of the toughest times you'll ever go through. Cordell & Cordell understands these issues and helps men maximize their roles in their children's lives. Call now on 0330 60 60 161 or visit cordellcordell.co.uk. Office in central London. A partner men can count on. Moving office, it can be one of the most stressful, costly, disruptive experiences of your business life. But not with Maris Interiors, who've been designing, fitting out and transforming workplaces for over 3 decades. To get your free guidebook, attend a free seminar, or book a free consultation, go to officerelocation.co.uk. Maris, workplace design experts.
Ian Dale at Drive on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
For 12:36 here on LBC. We'll come back to your calls on Brexit in just a moment, but of course Penny Mordaunt has replaced Priti Patel as International Development Secretary. We're going to be talking a lot more about her and indeed the position that the government are left in after this mini reshuffle after 5. But Theo Usherwood is here to tell us a little bit more. Who is Penny Mordaunt?
Penny Mordaunt, unfortunately for the Prime Minister in making this appointment, is a woman who voted to leave and campaigned to leave the European Union in last year's referendum. She also has necessary experience, having served as a defence minister
Fucking close enough, mate.
work and pensions, where she was a Minister of State. So, unsurprisingly, the appointment was expected. It's also one for its ear, because of course the balance between Remainers and Brexiteers within the Cabinet has been maintained. But also on the issue of international development, it is a controversial issue because of course David Cameron is stuck by Theresa May, I should say, has stuck by David Cameron's pledge to maintain spending on international aid of 1.7% of GDP, and therefore there are many within the party who don't necessarily support that. So the reaction from international aid charities has been positive. I've got a couple of quotes here from various charities. Oxfam Chief Executive Mark Goldring has said that he warmly welcomes her appointments and look forward to working with her in future. And that Save the Children's Kevin Watkins has also congratulated Miss Mordaunt on being, as she describes it, the best job in government. And that's important because there was always a feeling within the international aid sector that Priti Patel wasn't really committed to that aid target, that she wasn't really necessarily willing to work with charities, and there is pressure from the Conservative backbenches to scrap the 0.7% target.
So it's fair to say that Penny Mordaunt has made a bit of a splash.
Yes, I've done the important background, but of course she does have a good side to her sense of humour. She had a bet to mention a word that cannot be repeated at this time or any time of day. Mention it 3 times in the House of Commons. I think you've had a bet to mention certain words in...
Yeah, sometimes people on Twitter, if I say I'm going to be on Newsnight or something, they say, I challenge you to say a particular phrase, which of course I would never indulge in, Theo.
But of course Penny Mordaunt took it a step further and did it in the House of Commons, and she's also appeared on the diving competition Splash. There have been a couple of repeats on social media this afternoon, and some of those mistimed dives look really, really, really painful.
Well, let's hope her political career doesn't go into a belly flop, because the thing is with Penny Mordaunt, she's a character, and politics needs characters. She also listens to this programme quite a lot, so that's quite good. So we have to be nice to her to get her on.
Two other very quick bits of housekeeping. Sarah Newton, MP for Falmouth, and Truro has been appointed to her job, Penny Mordaunt's job, as a Minister of State of the Department for Work and Pensions. And then Victoria Atkins, who of course was 2015 intake, hotly tipped, well liked and seen as an up-and-coming star within the Conservative Party, has taken over at the Home Office from Sarah Newton.
And of course she is the daughter of Sir Robert Atkins, a former Tory MP whose nickname was Ratkins.
You can do that trivia.
We'll see if it's called Insight, Theo. I think you'll find. Thank you very much. We are going to talk more about Penny Mordaunt's appointment and where it leaves Theresa May's government after 5. But in the meantime, lots more of your calls. Want to talk about Brexit, want to talk about the Brexit bill. What do you think that we should be offering the EU, if anything? Robert's in Dulwich. Hello, Robert.
Hi, Ian. Good to speak again.
Hi.
We made a fundamental mistake here in that we actually offered money in the first place. I find it incredible. I really do find it actually more than incredible. I find it, my blood boils when we can't come up with $1 billion or $2 billion for the NHS or our schools, but we can offer 20, 30, 40 billion to the EU. The EU is not interested in a deal for the people of Europe or for the UK. The EU is an organisation that needs contributions for it to survive. We should have quite simply, and Jacob Rees-Mogg has just made the point, and I think he's right, we should have said, we'll prepare for WTO, we're off. And then businesses on both sides of the channel have gone to their respective governments and they would have said, look, you need to sort this out. And they would have applied the pressure on the governments, who would then apply the pressure on the EU. We're negotiating so badly so badly. It's what I find amazing. I used to be in business, and I've used lawyers. You know, the Article 50 is quite clear. There's nothing about money in there. The House of Lords, didn't they do a report on this? They said, technically, we don't owe any money. We've offered money in good faith, and yet we're going nowhere. I find it incredible that with legally binding documents and treaties, we're still unable to pin down a number. And it's only because politicians are involved. If business people handling this, it'd be very different.
Well, David Davis, to be fair, did come from the business world and has negotiated a lot of things in his business career in the past. But I kind of agree with a lot of what you've said, but I do believe that we should honour the commitments that we've entered into. So we've said that we will meet our commitments in the EU budget until the end of 2020. That is around £20 million. Now, the argument is, should we be offering more on the basis that we have committed funds to longer term projects as well, going up to sort of 2023? I think that is an argument to be had, but I take the view that in the long term, let's just get this out of the way, and if we have to pay 40 billion over 5 years or so, fine. It's still less than we would have been paying had we remained members, and then after that, we won't have to pay anything at all, apart from if we stay in one or two of the organisations like Euratom and that sort of thing. So I think the time is coming when the government essentially has to tell the EU, well, this is really, if you think that we are going to negotiate further on this, you're wrong. We will agree the principles of how the bill should be calculated, and we think it should be in the region of whatever the figure is, and on that basis we have made sufficient progress and we want the trade talks to start. And if at that point they say, no, well, we haven't made sufficient progress, well, then we use that phrase from Philip Holloway to go whistle.
Well, that's one way of doing it, and from where we are now, because that initial mistake was made of money in the first place, I agree with you on the commitment up to 2020, but I think that any more, because that was already an active mistake, any more would require a lot more.
Fuck, when you're on the pavement before you've done this.
The wrong people. It should be business that are applying the pressure on government in Europe and in the UK, who then would apply the pressure on the EU. There is no point in us sitting down with the EU because it is not in their interest to get a deal with us. And I think nice Farage did this right at the beginning, and once again he's proven right. It's business, and the deal has to be for the people, not for the EU. They just want our money, and that's plain to see as every day goes by. I can't understand that I'm 47 years old, I had a business there, I'm a maths teacher now, and you know, Ian, it's not right that we're not spending the money on our public services. You know, how can we just throw £40 billion at the EU and we can't fund our schools properly?
Okay, Robert, thank you very much. Some interesting points there. We'll come to more of your calls in a second. We're also expecting the Welsh First Minister's statement on the death of his colleague Carl Sargent any minute now. We'll keep you up to date with that here on LBC. It's 4:45.
This is LBC. Suddenly, everything goes black. You're driving blind. What evil lurks in the gloom? What hides in the shadows? Will you ever feel safe again? Of course you will. Come to Halfords. We fit new headlight bulbs on the spot from just £8. And we're open late 7 days a week. Ready for winter's worst? Ready for anything. Halfords, for life's journeys.
Bulbs sold separately. Selected vehicles only. In-west stores. Check working hours.
Ross Powell has the LBC travel news.
Thanks, Ian. Being crossed in Waterloo, Stamford Street is blocked both ways between the IMAX roundabout and Blackfriars Road because of a serious accident. There are delays on the approach. Also in central London, Lambeth Bridge is closed leading to the south side of the river, while a broken down lorry is recovered from the Lambeth Bridge roundabout later at the scene, and there are delays on all approaches. In Soho, Shaftesbury Avenue has a lane blocked northbound at Dean Street because of an accident. And as far as things going infield on the A10, the right turn leading onto Southbury Road is still blocked by this accident involving a car and a lorry. LBC Travel, I'm Ross Powell.
Last time on the Nigel Farage Show.
Personally, I think that should have sacked her if she wants to try and get some
Okay, Google.
back in her leadership. Though, to be frank, I think it's also
Okay, Google.